Your boss asks you a hard question in front of everyone. Your heart races. Your mind goes blank. You say something you immediately regret. Or maybe someone cancels plans and suddenly you're spiraling, convinced they hate you, replaying every conversation looking for proof. In this video, you'll learn the neuroscience behind staying calm, practical techniques you can use immediately, and real-life examples of how to apply them when pressure hits. You're going to learn how to stay calm under pressure using specific, science-backed techniques that retrain the way your nervous system responds to stress. Most people never learn what you're about to see here. They think calmness is a personality trait, something you either have or don't. But research shows emotional control is a trainable skill. It's tied to your nervous system, your brain's threat detection centers, and specific techniques you can use in just seconds. Emotional regulation is your ability to influence which emotions you have, when you have them, and how you experience and express them. It's not about suppressing feelings that actually makes things worse. It's about acknowledging emotions and choosing your response instead of reacting automatically. This isn't theory. It's neuroscience you can apply in real time. So why do some people lose control under pressure while others stay composed? First, low emotional awareness. If you can't identify what you're feeling when it's happening, you can't regulate it. Most people skip straight to reaction without recognizing the emotion first. This makes the feeling control you instead of the other way around. Second, overactive threat detection. Some people's amygdala are hypersensitive due to past trauma, chronic stress, or anxiety disorders. Their nervous system treats minor stressors a canceled plan, a critical comment as life-threatening emergencies. Third, lack of regulation skills. Nobody teaches emotional control in school. You're expected to figure it out. But without training, your default is whatever coping mechanism you learned as a child, which might be avoidance, explosion, or shut down. Fourth, physiological dysregulation. Poor sleep, irregular eating, chronic stress, and lack of physical activity all lower your baseline emotional regulation capacity. Your nervous system is already on edge before pressure even hits. The good news? All of these can be addressed with specific, evidence-based techniques. What does poor emotional regulation actually look like in real life? Here are the telltale signs. 1. You overreact to minor inconveniences. The Wi-Fi goes out and you slam your laptop. Someone cuts you off in traffic and you rage for 20 minutes. Small triggers create disproportionate emotional responses. 2. You shut down when confronted. Your partner wants to talk about something important and your mind goes blank. You can't find words. You either freeze or walk away. 3. You say things you immediately regret. Under pressure, you snap at people, make sarcastic comments, or say something harsh, then spend hours wishing you could take it back. 4. You can't think clearly during stress. You're asked a question in a meeting and your brain feels like static. Later, you think of the perfect answer, but in the moment, nothing came out. 5. You experience physical symptoms. Racing heart, shallow breathing, tight chest, sweaty palms, or a sudden urge to escape the situation. 6. You spiral into catastrophic thinking. One small thing goes wrong and suddenly you're convinced everything is falling apart. You jump to worst-case scenarios instantly. 7. You need hours or days to calm down. Once you're upset, you can't let it go. You replay the situation obsessively, argue in your head, or shut down emotionally for extended periods. Here's what most people miss: losing control under pressure and a character flaw. It's a nervous system response. When your amygdala detects a threat, real or perceived, it hijacks your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thinking, decision-making, and emotional control. This is why you can't think your way out of a stress response. Your body has literally shut down access to the part of your brain that could help. This is where the concept of vagal tone becomes critical. Your vagus nerve is the main highway between your brain and body that controls your parasympathetic nervous system. When vagal tone is high, your body can move in and out of stress easily. You feel emotionally balanced and recover quickly from overwhelm. When vagal tone is low, your system gets stuck in reactive mood. You can't calm down even after the stressful moment has passed. Your heart stays elevated, your breathing stays shallow, and you feel agitated without knowing why. But here is the powerful part. You can intentionally activate your vagus nerve to interrupt the stress response. Specific techniques, breathing patterns, cold exposure, humming physically change your nervous system state in seconds. This is why emotional control isn't about willpower. It's about working with your biology instead of against it. Before we get to solutions, let us acknowledge something important. People who struggle with emotional regulation often feel emotions deeply. And that is a strength. You're highly perceptive. You notice emotional shifts others miss. You sense tension in a room before anyone says a word. You're deeply empathetic. Your emotional intensity means you can connect with others' pain, joy, and vulnerability in profound ways. You're passionate. When you care about something, you care deeply. That intensity drives creativity, commitment, and meaningful work. You're authentic. You don't hide behind emotional walls. When you feel something, it's real and unfiltered. The goal isn't to suppress these qualities. It's to add regulation skills so your emotions work for you, not against you. That said, chronic emotional dysregulation carries serious consequences. Damaged relationships are common. Overreacting, shutting down, or saying hurtful things pushes people away even when you didn't mean it. Career limitations emerge. If you can't stay composed under pressure, you're passed over for leadership roles, miss opportunities, or develop a reputation as difficult. Chronic stress and health issues pile up. Staying in fight or flight mode damages your cardiovascular system, weakens your immune response, and contributes to anxiety and depression. Regret and shame cycles intensify. You react poorly, feel terrible about it, promise to do better, then react poorly again. The pattern reinforces itself. And perhaps most painfully, you may start avoiding situations where emotions might rise, which means avoiding life itself. Now, let's talk about the techniques that actually work. Technique 1, the physiological sigh. This is one of the fastest ways to calm down. Take 2 quick inhales through your nose, 1 full breath, then a second smaller inhale to top it off. Then do 1 long, slow exhale through your mouth. This pattern opens collapsed air sacs in your lungs, rebalances blood gases, and activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Do this 2 to 3 times when pressure hits. Technique 2, name the emotion. When you feel stress rising, pause and say to yourself, "I'm feeling anxious," or "This is frustration." Research shows that labeling emotions calms the amygdala and interrupts the fight or flight response. It moves you out of reactive mode and into conscious awareness. Technique 3, cold water activation. Splash cold water on your face, especially around your eyes and cheeks. This triggers the mammalian and dive reflex, which slows your heart rate and activates your vagus nerve instantly. Keep a cold washcloth in the fridge for quick access. Technique 4, extended exhale breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, exhale for 6 to 8 counts. The extended exhale activates your parasympathetic nervous system and tells your body you're safe. Repeat for 2 to 3 minutes. Technique 5, the stop technique. Stop for 2 seconds. Observe your thoughts, feelings, and body cues without judgment. Then proceed with intention. This creates a gap between stimulus and response, giving you control. Staying calm under pressure isn't about being emotionless. It's about having the tools to work with your nervous system instead of being hijacked by it. You don't need to be naturally calm. You just need to understand how your body responds to stress and how to interrupt that response when it doesn't serve you. Every time you pause, breathe intentionally, or name an emotion instead of reacting, you're building emotional regulation capacity. You're training your nervous system to respond differently. And over time, that training becomes automatic. You're not broken. You're just working with a nervous system that was never taught these skills. Now you know them. If this was helpful, share it with someone who could use these tools. And if you want more practical psychology content like this, subscribe. There's a lot more coming. Thanks for being here. Stay grounded.